US, Canada. Microsoft Flight Simulator. You starting with that? Gamescom, Xbox Stream.
Hello everyone and welcome to our Gamescom 2021 Xbox Stream.
We've got so many great game updates to share with you today. We're talking Age of Empires 4, Psychonauts 2, and my personal favorite, Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Later on, we'll take an extended look at Forza Horizon 5. There's so much going into this, and Playground Games' vision of Mexico is muy bonito.
And we'll be getting our first look at the cover car for the game, Paris. I got $5 on it being one of those electric scooters that you see piled up on the sidewalk.
Will Kate win $5? I guess we're about to find out.
Yes, indeed. Our Xbox Plays team will also chat with devs and deep dive into current and upcoming games all week on twitch.tv/Xbox.
Let's get started with Techland and their upcoming zombie parkour
Dying
sequel,
Light 2,
Dying
that's
Light
not an
2: Stay
Xbox
Human.
game. That's on everything.
Hello, I am Timon Smektawa, Dying Light 2 lead game designer, and this is David Lubryka, animation director. Hi. We can't wait until December 7th to finally give you Dying Light 2 Stay Human, the game we have been working on really hard for the last few years.
We're hoping the gameplay video you're about to watch will give you a foretaste of parkour and combat systems waiting for you in the game.
And we are just about to enter the city, fighting our way through its brutal and dangerous streets. Though, as you will see in a moment, there are plenty of things you can use to your advantage. So watch closely, look for special combat and parkour moves, and check out how with just a bit of creativity you can combine the two. Ready? Let's go.
Actual gameplay. This is going to be our first proper gameplay.
Like before all this. Probably like many others. People had their ambitions, plans, lives. Now it's all gone. The virus started it, but it was the people who made the world the way it is. This city, Villador. They tell me they had a vision. They had hope. But soon, one vision broke into many different ones.
There's the tank.
Instead of fighting together, people stood against each other. War broke out.
So far I see no gameplay at all.
With a broken leg.
Hope died.
There's no UI, so I'm not counting that as gameplay.
Now the city is falling.
Each time we strike down an enemy, we absorb their strength.
But I can't let that happen.
Oh, we got a grappling hook.
At least, not yet. I need the secrets the city holds.
Fuck.
Oh, fuck.
Still some rats here.
I have to pick a side.
The bazaar needs good people.
You're doing great so far.
I have to make a difference.
Let's check and see.
Here I come to save the
The
day.
great change is a series of small gestures.
Got a parachute. It's the year of the parachutes
How about this
and
series?
gliders. I want to see some UI, man. I want to see like a proper UI gameplay demo. It's very fuzzy. Or is that just me? Did it look fuzzy to you?
Is all hope really gone? We'll see about that.
Well, that was an exciting
Maybe let's
trip,
go
wasn't
to,
it,
like,
Timon? Did
just
you
try the
notice
Twitch
those
channel,
bandits in
maybe.
medieval-like armor
We're not
passing
missing
by
much.
skyscrapers, banks, and large billboards? That's what we call a modern Dark Ages.
And it's a very unique design, one
Didn't even show any shooting. I don't think there is any shooting. I think...
To me personally,
My God, what's going on?
it brings a whole new fighting style into the game.
Fuck me.
The
Why is the stream,
player
like,
can
dying?
stagger an
There
enemy
we go.
and use them to perform further attacks, for example by rebounding from their bodies, jumping
Yeah, I
off
think
them
they've got
onto
rid of
other
all the
foes,
firearms.
and so on.
I think we captured the movement really well and made it quite simple for the players to perform. I can't wait for them to try it out and tell for themselves how much they loved it.
It's definitely going to be useful. The city's buildings are higher than anything we have done before, improving its verticality. Players will need to find a way to reach those tall skyscrapers and other challenging spots too.
Then it's good we scattered some helpers around, like a
I'm
paraglider,
actually-
which can support players in both
I'm being a
parkouring and
dick.
combat.
I'm being a critical,
Exactly, and it's
sarcastic
gonna
dick,
do
like
great,
usual. But I
especially
think
in
this might
fights
actually be
against
quite good.
humans, which are more frequent and important than in Dying Light 1. It's been over 20 years since the events from the first game, so people adjusted. They are much bolder now, at least during the day.
And they are more vicious too.
And I think that's a great summary of this discussion. Pre-order Dying Light 2 and explore its vast, complex world on December 7th. Thanks, David.
Thank you.
Feliz Navidad. So they've got like some special deal with Xbox, I
For the
guess.
first time in the storied history of the franchise, Microsoft Flight Simulator launched on a home console with the release on
It feels
Xbox
like
Series
already
X
that they haven't
and
got
S
much to
last
show.
month. Reviewers and
And they're
gamers alike
scraping the bottom
were
of the
blown
barrel.
away by how well the stunning visuals and the depth of the simulation translated to the console, and that's why I'm extremely honored to welcome the head of Microsoft Flight Simulator, York Newman, to the stream. York, thank you for being here. The last time we met was at the Xbox Game Showcase, and it was getting ready to come out on consoles. How did that go?
It went great. As you said, the reaction to the Xbox console launch was really just amazing. Both from Xbox gamers and from the press, they've been so gracious with their feedback. I don't know if you know, but Flight Simulator is one of the highest rated games on Xbox this year, which I think is just great validation that the translation of the simulation to the console has really worked well. Our usage numbers are through the roof. We are absolutely shattering franchise records, and I can tell you there have
Does it
never
take
been
up
more people playing Flight
all of
Simulator
the
than
hard drive
right now.
space?
So it's an awesome time.
That is awesome. Congratulations on the launch, really. But
Oh no, what are you doing? No.
All right.
I want to go to the danger zone. So what's going on with Top Gun?
There's so much going on, Paris. So you and I talked about Top Gun Maverick earlier. The fans are super excited. They saw the FA-18. They can't wait to start flying. And as you know, it comes out later this year as free DLC alongside the movie. But as the movie is still under wraps, so are we. So I can still not tell you that much about it. But there's so much else going on even before Maverick. So we are continuing to do our monthly big releases that we've been doing for a long time. And next month, on September 7th, we are launching World Update 6. And this world update, I mean, at the beginning of the show, if you remember, there was a little red plane flying into Cologne. Well, we did that because World Update 6 updates that region, the region of Gamescom. So Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. And what that means to us is we have new aerial and satellite images. We have a new elevation map that helps us with the mountains. So the Alps actually look awesome now. We have new 3D cities like Frankfurt and Wuppertal in Germany. We have Basel in Switzerland. We have Vienna and Graz in Austria, and those cities look just amazing. They have like 7 centimeters resolution, and it's awesome. But we want to celebrate the entire region, so we picked 100 of the most scenic places, the most famous landmarks, and we call those POIs, and we sort of spread them throughout the simulation, and we also added airports. We did Lübeck and Stuttgart in Germany, and Klagenfurt in Austria, and St. Gallen in Switzerland. And what it ties it all together
Doesn't he feel like a right dick
is
with those
missions. We're
glasses
having
on?
new discovery
what am I
flights. We
doing?
have new
Take the glasses
landing
off.
challenges,
The
and we have
gag is
new,
ended.
Sort of tours of the country. So they fly you around all the awesome looking places and really celebrate the beauty of this region of Earth. And this is a celebration of DACH, of Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. I'm so happy to be able to announce the date here at Gamescom.
Thank you.
You know, that is really incredible, all the different regions and everything that you're going to have in the game, and the way that you're going to be able to actually highlight those.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. But you know, for us, it's actually not just the region and the visuals. We talked a lot when you study aviation, when you love aviation like we do, you actually realize that a lot of regions of Earth have a very special relationship with flying, with aviation. Sometimes it's, you know, the first experiments with aircraft, or a famous pilot, or a feat of aviation, or like a local manufacturer. So we thought to ourselves, why do we not use these world updates to celebrate the planes? So we are announcing a new series. We call them Local Legends. And think about that as planes that are locally well known, like in that region, but outside in the world, not so much. But why not use the world updates to highlight this, to bring these awesome machines to a worldwide audience? So for World Update 6, we picked a German plane from the 1930s. It's called Junkers U-52. In Germany, it's lovingly named Tante U, so Aunt U. And we think of us as sort of a digital preservation. So we really want to get these planes to an extreme level of detail. We're going out of our way to really go deep. So we're doing a full scan. We'll take full scans of the outside and the inside, as detailed as 1 millimeter, which is as good as you can really do this. And then we're working with, for the Junkers, we worked with Bernd Junkers, who is the grandson of the original creator of the plane, Hugo Junkers. And he's helping us. He had a ton of insight and materials. Then we worked with an organization that is preserving one of the last surviving examples of the Junkers. So they let us scan and take photographs. And then we were lucky that to find a pilot that actually flew one of those planes while it was still flying in the real world. And he lets us know, like, is the cockpit right and the sounds right? Does it feel right in the air? So we're having a blast working with these experts to really to celebrate this plane, to bring them back to life.
So this is almost like you're creating like a digital museum for aviation inside Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically that. It's a museum with flyable planes. So we're working with 40 museums around the world. And it's honestly one of the funnest parts of the job. You end up working with these curators of planes. These are their babies. And they sort of see the tooth of time in the real world sort of nagging on their remaining planes. And they're so happy when we come in with our scanning equipment and we're basically capturing their planes. And they know that we can digitally preserve them in perpetuity, and we're actually giving those scans back to the museum so they can do something
in perpetuity until Microsoft delist the game after 4 years.
And we're actually not just looking back in the history of aviation, we're also looking towards the future. So I have another announcement. We are working with a fascinating German company called Volocopter, and they're making an eVTOL air taxi for urban traffic. So they have a vision of the future, how these drone-type machines basically connect people in large cities. We're working directly with the engineering team to make sure that we are capturing their plane and their aircraft perfectly in the flight simulator, and that's coming out in November.
I mean, you weren't kidding when you're saying that there's a lot going on inside of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Is there anything else you want to share?
Yeah, there's one more thing. I'm so happy to announce that we've partnered with RARA. That's the Real Air Racing Association. And every year they put on something called the Steel National Championship Air Race. And we're bringing this to Flight Simulator. So this is the fastest motorsport. This is right down your alley. It's the fastest motorsport on Earth. And I actually brought you a little trailer to look at.
So race, speed. We go into the danger zone, baby. Let's go ahead and show that.
Captured in real time 4K. Wow, that was a great trailer. I was expecting a bit more than that. Jesus. Play day one, PC, console, Game Pass.
You know I like going fast, and you know I love being in the danger zone. When is this coming out?
Man, these planes, they fly 500 miles, faster than 500 miles an hour, 50 to 250 feet above the ground. So you are definitely going to be in the danger zone. I mean, without going into too much detail, this Reno Air Race is actually the largest expansion we have since we launched on Flight Simulator. It's not just because we scanned all the famous race planes of the world. There's lots of them. This is also the first time when you can basically race against your friends and pilots across the planet. So a competitive multiplayer is coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and that will definitely test your pilot skills. And you ask, when is it coming out? This is coming out this fall, so it's right around the corner.
Oh, that
You're
is
adding
fantastic.
PvP
You know I have
to
the
Flight
need
Simulator.
for speed, so I can't wait to get my hands on this and participate in some of these air races.
Awesome, man. We got you covered.
All right, thank you.
Does it have
If
matchmaking?
going fast on the ground is more your speed, keep an eye out for an extended look at Forza Horizon 5 later on in the stream. We'll also talk with Wasteland 3's game director about the game's next big DLC. But first, if you're an Xbox Game Pass subscriber, we have some great news for you.
I got a voucher. Humble Games. He's launching day one.
Here I come!
Here I come! Ooh.
Build a weapon, one that blows the world away.
Is that Into the Gungeon?
Build a rocket that'll come and take away us all. Gonna come back, I am coming back
That looks pretty cool.
in a day.
Very fluid, very
Build a
smooth.
weapon that'll turn us into
Dodgeball Academy.
newborns again. Build a weapon, one
Bushiden. Bushiden.
away. Build a rocket that'll come and take away us all. Gonna come back
Unpacking. Oh yeah, this game. You got to move house
in a day.
and you unpack. Very stressful.
That'll turn us into newborns again.
I have no face. Ah. I like the look of that. Hold my hand. When are they coming out? Don't know.
Yep, somehow they did it. They added even more games to Game Pass. But let's talk about what's
And by
coming
doing
up.
that, we're
talking
taking some
Age of
away.
Empires 4, the game's creative director, and we're going to see what's next for Sea of Thieves. But now, we've got a new roguelike retro shooter that, in grand retro fashion, sends you plundering through shifting dungeons to defeat a mysterious eldritch terror. Let's dive into the
Not another retro roguelike thing. Jesus. Oh, that looks different. I wasn't expecting it to look like that. Kind of reminds me of that Lichton Battle Mage, if it was retro and the roguelike. October 19th. Play it day one, PC, console, Game Pass.
Well, I am here
Age of Empires
with creative
4.
director of World's Edge, Adam Eisgreen. And Adam, I'm so excited to talk Age 4, of course, because you've brought something a little different and very special today.
Yeah, I have. So, so far we've been showing everyone kind of what Age looks like from in the game, when you're playing it. You've gotten to see a lot of footage of that. And we've also shown a little bit
They're going to show real world shit.
Right, through when we unveiled the 100 Years' War and showed Joan of Arc. But we have yet another way in Age of Empires 4 that we're kind of bringing history to life that we haven't talked about yet.
See, you do this to me. You put me in suspense. I want to know more, so let's go with it.
Well,
Let's hear more.
Okay, wait, you get one moment of suspense.
Oh,
Okay,
fuck's
that's
sake.
enough. So,
Be
what I've
normal
totally
human
brought
beings
today
for
is,
once.
we have these wonderful little videos that we've created that are interspersed amongst the campaign, and they're about 3 to 5 minutes each. And we have over an hour of them total, and they're called Hands-on Histories. And what they are is a great way to deep dive on certain fun subjects from the cultures we're representing and just from medieval history.
Excellent. Well, I hear you've actually brought one of those segments that you're going to share here for the very first time.
Yes, I have. We are going to show you the segment on one of the most popular units from Age of Empires franchise and a fan favorite, the trebuchet.
Excellent. Well, this, I got to see.
A real
Let's
siege weapon.
take a look.
So,
A counterweight trebuchet.
you want to see a game? Fuck you. Here's real
king
life.
Of all siege engines. A catapult capable of smashing down castle walls.
Fuck's sake.
From
A
great
potato?
distances.
Looks like a potato.
At Warwick Castle in England, they've
In
built a
England, Warwick
replica,
Castle?
one of the largest in the world.
Did my mum and dad go there recently? Where's Warwick Castle?
Originating in 7th century
on.
China, by the 13th century, trebuchets had evolved into devastatingly powerful
Yeah, my mum and dad
weapons.
went to Warwick Castle like
simple design,
literally
but so
like a couple weeks ago.
It has several key features. A pivoted arm with a weight at one end, and a sling to hold the
Were
projectile
they there
at
while
the
this was
other.
being filmed?
To prime, the 6-ton weight is raised using tread wheels.
So this is one of the wheels, one of two that's attached to an axle, which would lift the counterweight, weighing 6 tons. It's based on muscle power alone. What's essential about launching a projectile as far as possible is making sure that this end of the arm is moving as fast as possible. So once that weight drops, it really sends this point of the arm moving at its highest velocity.
This was done by positioning the pivot close to the counterweight and by launching the projectile from a sling.
What a small projectile,
released,
really, when you think about
The
it.
sling whips round, vastly increasing the launch speed. Trebuchets were carefully aimed, like modern guns.
In order to weaken the castle walls or even breach them, you had to make sure that the projectiles hit the same spot every single time.
For each projectile to follow the same
Go on,
trajectory,
fire it at
they
the old
all had to
castle.
be the
I
same
dare
weight
you.
and shape. To achieve this, masons used a gauge.
Now I'm going to load this projectile into the sling. Oh, this one must weigh about 25 kilograms, but some projectiles can get up to 150 kilograms. That's the weight of 2 men.
Trebuchets were also used to throw burning tar, beehives, even dead bodies.
Not the bees.
Anything to cause maximum distress to the enemy.
Oh shit, we hit a lady, an old lady.
It was the counterweight trebuchet's lethal combination of power and accuracy that made it the ultimate medieval siege weapon.
October 28th. Well,
You know I'm going to say trebuchet.
no.
Don't care, because that is awesome and remarkably unique, something you don't see in games very often.
Yeah, so, you know, one of the things when we were looking at what we were going to do with Age of Empires 4, there's a phrase I'm really fond of, which is history is only as interesting as the people who taught it to you. And you could say that about any subject, really, right? But I think the great thing is when you have someone that's so enthusiastic and passionate about history, it really comes across. And we wanted to be that kind of teacher for history. And there's a phrase called humanized history that I use to kind of describe what we tried to do, which is we tried to like connect past and
Aliens
present.
made the
And
pyramids.
you can see that kind of in our briefings as well, where we've got like real stuff with like CG kind of overlaid to show you the history. And so for these, we really wanted to do that same thing. So ourselves and Relic partnered with this amazing group in the UK called Lion TV, and they've done production on an amazing amount of shows and documentaries for the BBC and won every award you can imagine for media. And they travel to all of these locations in all these different countries to meet with these subject matter experts and get all of this great footage
Baldrick
on
from
how things really
Blackadder
worked
to do
and
Time
how things
Team.
were made. And it's been delightful to kind
In
of
Age
go
of
through that
Empires.
process and get all these and finally start showing them to everyone.
I love it. Now, you also, of course, you've got a bunch, as you mentioned, of these hands-on history segments. Anything else that you can tell us fans?
Hands-on? It's
what
not
we can
hands-on.
expect, looking forward to. Any favorites you got coming up?
Oh, well, favorites. Oh, man. Well, I think my
Playing the game would be
favorite
hands-on.
is one
Watching a
called Medieval
fucking
Surgery. And,
history
I'm gonna
show
let your
is not
imagination
hands-on.
go with what we might show and what we might talk about in that one.
Yeah.
But the thing I love about them is that they go all over the place. So, you know, we've got ones on warfare and castle building and like how they kept flaming arrows from not going out when she shot them. And so.
Oh. They cut it off. They were like, well, that's boring shit. Cut it off. F. Okay, it's still on the YouTube. It really dies. I change between them. How bizarre. Oh, is it completely died? No? It's completely died. There we go.
But we've also got all of these ones
God.
on, you know, like illuminated history and hawk falconing and, you know, like horse taming, armor creation. And there's even one on Mongolian instrumentation, which is really cool because those instruments, we actually use them in the soundtrack for the Mongols when you're playing as them in the campaign, in the game.
I mean, I just love the behemoth amount of history that you guys. Age of Empires, always known for bringing history alive in a completely different way. And I also love to mention this to people that you and the team do so much research, and it's so great to see this approach being used in a hands-on history kind of segment. But I mean, what was that approach like to sort of, you know, sell going forward, especially since it's such a unique in-game experience?
Well, the cool thing was it was there from day one. It was one of the things I was really wanted to do is try to tell these stories in a different way. But I'll tell you, like, full disclosure, it's been insanely nerve-wracking because we're trying something completely different that no one's ever done before in a game, right? We're we're history, but we're a game, but we're teaching you things. But
what we've done is we've made it not a game.
That middle ground has
we've
been
made
really
you watch a TV show.
And, you know, every time we've tried to show, we've shown the campaigns or we've shown these hands-on histories, I've been like, oh God, is it gonna work? Like, people gonna like this? And the great thing is so far, everyone that's really experienced the entire thing put together have just been like, wow, this is great. And it's so different and kind of cool and refreshing. So, so far so good, right? But yeah, it's been a journey, you know, to get all this done and put the whole game together.
Well, I love that you mentioned journey because we are coming towards the end of this development journey for Age 4. Talk to me about where people can find and learn more about Age of Empires 4. I know they're all chomping at the bit.
Oh, well, you know, October 28th, we are launching the game. You can go to ageofempires.com to learn more about the title. And if you're really, really excited, right now, you can go onto the Microsoft Store or Steam, pre-order the game right now. And of course, we will be there day one, Xbox Game Pass for PC as well. So anyone that's on that can just grab the game and start playing. But
yes, I believe you are a part of something very special.
Yes, so Gamescom opening night live.
Yes.
11 a.m. Pacific time. There might be something Age of Empires related in there, so if you're a fan, you probably should tune in.
Oh, a bit of a tease from Mr. Ice Green.
Maybe.
And I like it very much. Adam, thank you so much for joining us here.
Always a pleasure.
Where's the game?
Always a pleasure. Age of Empires 4 looks fantastic, so I cannot wait. October 28th, neither should you. Now, we have tons coming up here today, including a new update for State of Decay 2 and an extended look at Forza Horizon 5.
State of Decay 2, that's been out for like 5 years.
Let's catch up with Paris, who's gone from flying the skies in Microsoft Flight Sim to a different kind of cloud.
That's right, Kate. Xbox Cloud Gaming is already available on Windows PCs, mobile phones, and tablets.
What is cloud gaming?
It's coming to Xbox consoles. The future with cloud gaming sounds bright. No waiting to install, no running out of hard drive space, no waiting to patch, and no buying a new console.
And no
just to play
reaction
with your
time
friends.
because the game
See how the
input lags
vision of
like
cloud
fucking
gaming
mad.
will bring people together without barriers.
Where's Todd? I want to see
when I
Todd.
think about cloud and when I think about gaming, those two things together to me really show you the future where you can pick up something and you could play it anywhere and you could do it quickly.
Cloud gaming is phenomenal. That's pretty great. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
This actually looks so good.
Games are large and you want to keep the ones that you know you love on your hard drive. Xbox Cloud Gaming is about being able to discover the new ones right away. It's super exciting that for our Game Pass Ultimate members, they will get to experience Xbox Cloud Gaming on whatever console they have.
cloud gaming
But
is
that's
really
like-
about looking at
how much is that, like
how
£12
people
a
play
month,
differently.
Game Pass Ultimate?
I know me in particular, sometimes I just have 20 minutes.
It should be as easy as finding the game that you look for on your console and just jumping right in.
We're targeting 1080p at 60 frames per second.
What's crazy about this is like the latency. This is the kind of stuff you need with cloud gaming.
Oh, 60
Xbox
frames, that's
gamer.
actually very smooth.
There's no such thing. You're just a gamer.
The process itself to get into cloud gaming feels like you're playing on console, right? You go, you find the game you want, you press play.
It's so easy nowadays. You can pick up any device and pretty much play any Xbox game on Game Pass.
If my friends have titles that I don't have
It's
yet,
£11
I can
a
just
month,
wait for them to send me an
which is
invite.
quite a
and
lot.
It makes content just so much more accessible.
I really love the flexibility.
Never own a game
It's
again,
awesome.
exactly.
Everything that Xbox is doing right now is just getting rid of the limits of having to be on a specific platform or a specific console.
And then
like
we
on
take it
PC
away
and
from you when
mobile,
you're
and
actually
now
about to
on
play it or
Gen
about to
8.
beat it.
Yeah, Gen
And now we've taken it
8
off the
consoles
system.
can play Gen 9 content. Isn't that so cool?
With cloud gaming, we have the ability, because you are connecting to consoles that are in our data centers, to allow the Gen 8 customers, the Xbox One customers, to play games that their hardware wouldn't have been able to play without it.
There's so much opportunity.
If
when
they
it comes
can't
to thinking about
afford
how we can make
a
content
new
more
Xbox,
readily
maybe they
available,
can't
let people
afford
play
good enough
where they
internet
want
to actually play
Sign me up. I'm ready
cloud
for cloud gaming
stuff,
right now. Let's
you
do
know?
it. When's the release date? When does it release?
August 9th
They're all crap.
saw the release
All the cloud
of the
stuff
free
is crap.
optimized
There's not
update
one that
for
is
Hellblade:
actually
Senua's Sacrifice
decent.
on the Xbox Series S and X. With beautiful and rich visuals, thanks to the addition of ray tracing and improved materials alongside performance updates, this is the perfect opportunity to relive Senua's journey or experience it for the first time. And if you haven't played this, do yourself a favor, grab a pair of headphones and immerse yourself into this world.
It's not very good.
Agreed. Speaking of unique experiences on Game Pass, the Xbox Plays team will be taking a look at some ID at Xbox titles over the next few days, including 12 Minutes and The Big Con.
They're also talking with developers from Halo, the Master Chief Collection, Forza
Stop
Horizon 5, and
promoting
Destiny 2.
what's coming
so join the live
later in the
Q&A
week.
to get your
Do
burning
what
questions
you're doing
answered.
now.
You can catch all of those streams on twitch.tv/Xbox.
Speaking of Forza Horizon 5, don't forget our friends
Have
at
you played
Playground
the other
Games will
ones?
give us
This
an
is
extended
exactly the
look at their
same.
monument to motoring in Mexico later on.
That includes never-before-seen areas of the game map, plus cars.
Never
that have
before seen
never
areas of the
been in
game.
Forza
It's
franchise
Mexico.
before. I've loved
People
everything
know
I've seen
it's
of
not
Forza
like it's a
Horizon
new
5 so
fucking
far, and I can't wait. Now, Kate,
island that they've made.
There's more games to check out, right?
Well, right you are, Paris. Let's talk Wasteland 3. Their newest DLC introduces us
I've
to
heard
a new
12 minutes
cult.
is not very good,
The
actually.
Cult of the Holy Detonation.
The holy detonation is life. Deep within Cheyenne Mountain, we've changed.
That little north.
Evolved into the mutations you see before you. Set on a righteous path. The holy detonation's life-giving glow should be shared with everyone. May the light of the holy detonation purify you.
Wasteland 3.
Join us, Rangers.
Game that's already out, but I guess it's an expansion. Play it day one, PC, console, Game Pass.
With new patches, bug fixes, and added features, like a fine wine, Wasteland 3 just gets better with age to really savor the game's bouquet.
It should be better
We're
when it
talking
comes
with
out, really,
Inexile
though,
game
shouldn't it?
director David Rogers. David, thank you for joining us.
I'm super stoked to be here. Thanks.
So in the trailer, we saw that the DLC is coming out on October 5th, but we know, In Exile, Wasteland 3, you guys have been working on this for a very long time. So can you kind of talk about that journey?
Yeah, our dev team has been working nonstop full tilt, trying to make Wasteland 3 the best version of itself it could be. Over the past year since it's released, we've added features, we've balanced, we've listened to the community, we've fixed bugs, added stability, and I really think that the version that we have now is the absolute best version of the game, and if you've never played it before, now's an awesome time to jump in.
Well, congratulations on everything that you've been doing with Wasteland 3. Now, this DLC is called The Cult of the Holy Detonation. Now, talk about that a little bit. Tell me
what we did
what's
is
going to go into
we
this DLC. What should we be
took
excited
Megaton from
Right, so
Fallout
you've heard
3
of,
and we
Cheyenne
put it
Mountain,
in our
right?
game.
For those who haven't, Cheyenne Mountain is this top secret military complex buried deep in the heart of Cheyenne Mountain in the middle of Colorado. It's designed to outlast a nuclear winter. And so when you hit level 16, an old friend calls you and says, hey, I need your help securing this secret military base and all the secrets within. And as soon as you get there, you find two warring cults battling over supremacy, trying to take control of the Holy Detonation, which is this pre-war science experiment that they worship as a god. And, these cultists are insane, they're mutated, they've gone totally mad, and all they want to do is share the holy radiation with you and your entire ranger team. How generous.
Yeah, that sounds a lot cooler than some of the cults I may have joined in the past, but...
What?
This is typical Wasteland fashion. We're really going to be able to get in there and mix it up, right?
Right. So you and your ranger team insert yourself right smack dab in the middle of their holy war, which, what could go wrong? And this is a Wasteland game, so you decide everything. Choice and consequence is our bread and butter. And so you decide who lives, who dies, who gets screwed over, who takes charge. You're deciding the fate of the cults, the Holy Detonation, Cheyenne Mountain, and ultimately all of Colorado. This is really your game to craft and mold.
That's awesome. So the last expansion was the Battle of Steeltown, right? You had giant robots and things like that. So, what are you going to do to actually top something like that from the last expansion?
Right. So we wanted returning players to find something that they could never find in another version or in previous versions of Wasteland 3. And so we built this as a Wasteland-style dungeon crawl. And in there, you find this awesome mix of mystery, exploration. You're meeting these crazy cultists who have been locked in this pre-war time capsule, and some of the raddest boss battles we have ever been able to build in a Wasteland game.
That's awesome. I want to get back to the crazy cultists, but talk to me about these big boss battles. I want to hear more about that.
Right. So we took the best parts of Wasteland combat and we breathed new life into it with objective-based combat, which are basically super rad boss battles. It's no longer you're huddling in a corner, throwing down turrets, just going on murderous rampages. It's not about killing, it's about getting the job done. And so now combat doesn't end until the mission is over. We send you on proper combat missions. You're in there breaking into prisons, rescuing POWs. You're disrupting these high-tech cultist rituals. You are splitting your fire team and coordinating
reminds me
you
of
never have had to before.
XCOM,
everyone on your team has a job, and I
Bureau
really think this is going to take old players who know their ranger team like the back of their hands, and it's going to make them scratch their head and really have to rethink how they go about combat and making it new, exciting, and challenging in a mentally in a way we haven't been able to really do before with just straight up murder combat.
Now, Wasteland has a reputation for getting a little silly.
Right.
What are some of the weird characters we can expect in some of the story encounters we'll see in the game?
Yeah, with Cult of the Holy Detonation, we really got to cut our devs loose and just let them be creative and fun and silly. In Exile's modus operandi is if we're brainstorming and something makes us laugh, we just put it in the game. That's just how we do it, and we pick up the pieces afterwards. Because we want to make something that entertains us, and then we know if we're having fun, our fans are going to have fun along with us. And so we got to explore, really letting you get deep into this weird radiation cult and let you interact with them and talk with them and tell stories and maybe even join them. And so for instance, one of the characters you meet, one of the first cultists you meet, is this slathering beast. He's got claws and fangs and spikes jutting out, and he's drooling, but he's the nicest guy in Cheyenne Mountain. You meet him and he's like, hey guys, you should come in here and soak up some of these rads. It'll be great. And he Sherpas you in and lets you meet the whole cult. And another one of my favorites is the Proteus. He's what you get if you took like 20 cultists and you like melted them into a big pile, kind of like I would do this with like a magnifying glass. I would like melt like army guys and like GI Joes into a big pile, and he's wet and sloppy and gross, and he's hard to understand, and he needs a translator supposedly, but he's like your #1 fan. And getting to build like this totally out there wild extreme character was a ton of fun to write for. It's a ton of fun to like explore like what makes this cult tick, and he's an absolute blast. Hell, even some of the weapons that you find in Cheyenne Mountain, they're devolved cultists. Like there's one guy and he kind of devolved into this like vomiting bagpipe creature, and he has this real like kill me vibe about him. But we get to play with these fun body horror themes that let us jackknife between sort of like dark and serious and like goofy and funny, which is a line that Wasteland really loves to ride. Like, you know, a lot of really important stuff is at stake, but you know, the Wasteland's a pretty bizarre place.
Oh, I can imagine. Now, we talked before, you've been working on Wasteland 3 for a while. There's already expansions that are out there. But say I'm a new player. Say I'm watching this right now and I'm like, man, I want to get into Wasteland 3. What would you suggest for new players wanting to get into this?
And like I said at the top, like Wasteland is like the best version of itself right now because of all the work we've put into it.
It's not what I thought it was, Wasteland.
And so you can
I thought
get
it was
the
more
whole
serious.
thing
I
with the
didn't realize it
Colorado
was so
collection. That's
cartoony
the base game plus Cult of the Holy Detonation and Battle of Steeltown, all for a discount. Or if you have Game Pass, you already have Wasteland 3. Just download it and play it, and then you can get both expansions with the expansion pass.
That is awesome. Now, to kind of recap this a little bit, we've talked about, you know, spewing pus bags and these weird characters and the cults and the boss battles and all these really cool things that are going to be in Wasteland 3. But please remind everyone before we get out of here, when can you pick up this DLC?
Right, this Work of Passion, it comes out on October 5th. And we're really stoked.
That is awesome. So this is the Cult of the Holy Detonation.
Cult of the Holy
Detonation coming October 5th. David, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Barish. Appreciate it.
All right. In the 3 years since its launch, Sea of Thieves has played host to some incredible crossovers, including unique ship sets
They've got nothing new to
inspired
show,
by
have
games
they,
like
all?
Battletoads, State of Decay, Halo, and more. Today, we're excited to announce a brand new special event that will award players an all-new ship as a part of the latest wild crossover heading to Sea of Thieves. Better yet, this event begins tomorrow. So get ready to make some mayhem, and let's get our first look at this very special ship.
Oh, Borderlands. Oh no, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why? I mean, you just like... Oh, fucking hell. Immersion just out the window. Why would there be a Borderlands ship in a fucking pirate game? It's just a skin as well. It's not even like an actual unique ship. It's just a skin.
Guten Tag, everyone. Really cool to be a part of this all-digital Gamescom event. And we were thinking, what's the best way to kind of celebrate Gamescom and to be a part of this as Sea of Thieves? And so we're really excited to reveal that we're bringing the Mayhem ship set that you've just seen, a really, really cool ship that's inspired by Borderlands, into Sea of Thieves. And we're giving all of our players a chance to earn it during kind of the Gamescom time period. So it's been really cool to work with the Borderlands team to bring this ship to life and giving all of our players the chance to earn it as part of this live event that we've cunningly titled Mayhem. You might notice the link. So you can probably guess the kind of activities that are involved. But if you head to Lorena at any of the outposts in the Sea of Thieves world, she'll be able to fill you in on the details of what you need to go do to earn the ship set. So we hope everybody gets a chance to take part in this awesome time-limited event. So it starts today, and it runs through to September the 7th. So that's the time period you've got to get your hands on the Mayhem
fucking
ship set. And I think that's it from me.
Bullshit.
So, as
Timed
always,
event
I will
nonsense
see you on the seas.
Shit. This State of Decay 2, so State of Decay 2 is actually
Hope.
a very janky game, but it's really cool.
World
But it's 5 years old at this point. It came out in 2016, didn't it? It's like, come on.
But now, it's hope that brings us back together.
Like, it's a proper, actual survival game.
Never unites old friends.
It's not these, like, bullshit early access
builds
survival
new
game
bonds.
nonsense. It's just like a proper survival game.
And in the face of a growing threat, hope is the greatest weapon we have.
They announced the third one, like, a year ago, didn't they? No, it came out in 2018. I thought it came out in 2016. It's 3 years old at this point. And basically, it's only just been, like, finished. It was in such a bad state when it released. But it's actually, it's janky, but it's really unique and cool.
Welcome back to Trumbull Valley.
I'd like to play some more of it.
Well, just like zombies themselves, it seems everything old is new again in State of Decay 2. And we have a guest to walk us through this Undead update. Please join me in welcoming Undead Labs Director of
It's
Communications.
just interviews, this
Hello,
fucking thing.
Hello, I'm great. It's great to be here. Talk about the Homecoming update.
It feels like a
releasing on September
pre-show
1st.
more than the actual,
we are
like,
very
main
excited
event.
to get this into players' hands.
You are indeed. So let's talk about the Homecoming update. Obviously, we are coming back to Trumbull Valley. We were there for Heartland, the update, back in 2019. Talk to me about the differences, and I'll sit right here and listen, because you're adorable.
So Heartland is the
Fucking
story
hell.
mode within the game, but it's a very linear, narrative-driven experience.
Isn't that
Players can
inappropriate?
move their communities there. So that's all changed with the Trumbull Valley map. It is the 5th core open-world map. It's fully remastered, and it expands into 2 territories that were completely inaccessible in Heartland. So players can return to Trumbull Valley with their communities, start new communities there, and really start exploring everything that the new map has to offer.
So then, would Homecoming be a sequel then to Heartland?
Yeah, exactly right. So the events in Heartland kind of play out. You see what happens in Trumbull Valley. So we think of it as the 3rd part of our Trumbull saga that began with the original State of Decay game, continued into Heartland, and now we see what has happened since then and what storylines might be coming to a close. So there is a lot for players to discover, a lot of environmental storytelling to find, and things have changed. So this isn't the Trumbull Valley that players might remember. So that's going to be exciting.
Interesting. Well, and anytime you expand something like Trumbull Valley, you just have to
Dinky.
have a juggernaut of content, pun intended. Talk to me a little bit about what some of those things are that players can get in on here now in the expanded Trumbull Valley.
Yes, a ton of new content. In fact, we're doing something unique with the Trumbull Valley map. There are items there that you can only find on that map and nowhere else in the game, including 12 new hats and outfits, 10 new very cool weapons.
12 new
6
hats.
bases,
They got
2
new
new
fucking
achievements for achievement
more new
hunters.
hats than weapons.
And on top of that, we are
What
adding
the
the
fuck?
game's 12th bounty pack. So that will be available from the bounty broker across all maps. And I have to say, they are some of the coolest weapons I have ever seen go into the game. I'm so excited for people to find them.
A juggernaut amount of content, and I don't care who
Yes,
sees that
I
second
love
pun
it.
of the day. That works out great. But let's talk about the State of Decay community, because it's absolutely an integral part to this entire franchise. And State of Decay being on Xbox Game Pass, how has that impacted the community? How has that impacted the game? Talk to me about those.
It's been fantastic, and we have an amazing community. We love them so much. In fact, one of the reasons we're doing Trumbull Valley as a map is because it was one of the most requested features from the community, which also makes it very exciting for us to be able to say, we did it, you get it. And we have a major milestone that we're celebrating. State of Decay 2 has 10 million lifetime players.
10 million lifetime.
I mean, that doesn't mean anything.
Hang your hat on that. I absolutely love that. That is
Really grateful.
Incredible, amazing news. Congratulations to you and the entire team at
Thank
Undead
you.
Labs, man. Fantastic work. Well, speaking of Xbox Game Pass, let's give me the deets one more time when it comes to the update.
So the update releases September 1st. It's a free update for all State of Decay 2 owners, and it's included with Xbox Game Pass. Happy
It's free.
homecoming.
I love it. Thank you, Wonder.
Normally
very
they
much.
charge
My
like
pleasure.
20 quid for that.
Now we move from Trumbull Valley to the Lost Valley of Akria. This mystical location trades zombies for ancient warrior clans, forgotten temples of long-dead god kings, and a healthy dose of hack and slash. All this awaits in Strayblade.
Strayblade? 505 Games, they're dicks. It's another Souls-like you want to play another Soul? Hey, do you want to play a Souls-like? I mean, it looks very budget. 2022. I mean, it looks very budget.
In Strayblade, you discover the mystical lost valley of Akria, a world which ranges from overgrown temple ruins to frozen caves and winding canyons. A game world that changes based on your victories and plenty of dudes to stab in blade-to-blade combat. If that weren't enough, you even get a fuzzy little pal to help you out. Between the epic fights and this small guy, there's clearly a lot going on here. So let's hear more from Point Blank Games about Strayblade.
Hello everybody, I'm Leonard Kausch, Game Director at Point Blank Games, and today I will show you Strayblade. Strayblade is an action RPG where you play a rogue adventurer who is exploring the ancient valley of Akria with his companion, a witty wolf named Boji. Unveil the history of the Forgotten Valley, master the powers of the 3 Akrian metals to restore balance to this war-torn land.
That is the how, as well as the why.
Combat and exploration are the 2 key elements of our game. Let's dive into the combat first.
It's a Souls game.
Our combat system merges strategic anticipation of enemy
Souls
attacks
game.
with split-second blade-to-blade
It's a
reactions.
Souls game. Just say it's a Souls game for the love of God.
Melee weapon combat. To achieve that, we put our
Got
hearts
kind of
into creating
Kingdoms of
fluid,
Amalur
well-readable animations
kind of vibes to
and
it
epic
as well.
cinematic finishes. You can choose from multiple weapon categories that can be combined to fit your
But
playstyle.
I don't.
Now,
Only
let's take a look at the
Souls-like game that
Kriya's
has been
colourful
as
world
good
ranges
as
from overgrown
the
city
actual
ruins to
Souls
frozen
series
caves and winding
was
canyons.
Surge 2.
Together with your companion, explore the deepest corners of an ever-changing world, bristling with adventure.
And maybe Star Wars
Every
Jedi
discovery
Fallen Order.
holds treasure. Find rare materials, recipes, weapons, lore pieces.
Everything
and
else has
beautiful
been kind of
places. Change is part of
budget
your journey,
kind of
where every
rubbish.
victory impacts the world
Like
around
Mortal
you.
Shell
When
is
you
rubbish.
Die, time keeps moving
Lords of the
forward.
Fallen is
Enemies can't
rubbish.
stay dead. New foes invade camps that you weakened, and when Boji revives you, only one thing is certain: the change you brought shapes what now awaits you. And of course, get ready for epic boss fights.
A horse. Dun, 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 dun.
We hope you enjoyed the first look at Strayblade, which will be out next year. And keep an eye on our social media channels for more information.
Nope. Crusader Kings 3 is coming to console.
Next up, one of the most unique games finally comes to Xbox.
Which
Yeah,
will be interesting.
unique. As in, my evil twin murdered 4 of my husbands because they secretly are in love with me. Unique.
In case that didn't tip you off, we're talking about Crusader Kings 3, the medieval grand strategy and role-playing game that has you trying to defend your royal line from those that would conquer your kingdom, and evil twins apparently.
Right.
Yeah. It's coming to Xbox as an adaptation, not a direct port, meaning that the UI and controls have been refined
Yeah,
to
it would
bring
have
that
to be.
grand strategy experience to a controller.
Not to mention bringing the grand strategy experience to my comfy living room couch.
We'll all be ruling from our throne room soon enough. Check out Crusader Kings 3, now coming to Xbox consoles.
The fuck? Can't you just plug a
My
mouse and
son,
keyboard into the
we
Xbox?
must never forget the crimes committed against us. Your father sought his glorious revenge and failed. He never understood that the greatest wars are won with weddings.
His radial
warriors.
wheels work really well.
Daggers, not swords. Only the small-minded measure success across the span of a single life. The real game is played across generations. You see, real strategy requires cunning.
Crusader Kings 3. Xbox. No PS5.
Crusader Kings 3 is wild. You really haven't lived until you've made an 8-year-old the King of England.
Well, it's nice to have hobbies. We've all gotten into some weird stuff this past year.
Have we?
Weird like diving into people's brains and exploring their mental universes projected into a psychedelic 60s wonderland kind of weird?
Exactly that kind of weird, which means I am so excited for Psychonauts to finally get a sequel. It has been so long.
There really is something special about Psychonauts, isn't it?
There really is indeed. Now, think about this. 2005, when Psychonauts originally came out, was a different time for gaming. Most of the biggest games that year, we're talking Resident Evil 4, Battlefield 2, Call of Duty 2. They were great games, for sure, but they were all big, beefy shooter games.
Meanwhile, Psychonauts had humor,
Nothing's
whimsy,
changed.
and surprisingly heartfelt moments. It was an oasis of color and humanity in an era when games were increasingly turning grimy, dark, and combative.
Not to mention
Nothing's
having
changed.
some deceptively deep character moments.
That's why the original is considered a cult classic.
It has been a long time coming.
Comes out
and it is
tomorrow.
finally
We're gonna play
here.
it tomorrow.
Enjoy this long-awaited launch trailer for Psychonauts.
I've got it pre-downloaded on the Games Pass.
Well, this shouldn't take too long.
The sensors are back. Apparently it takes place after the VR game that came out a few years back.
With psychic powers, he dives into your mind.
My name is Raz.
Rasputin.
I'm the new intern.
I thought you were a psychonaut.
It's my first day on the job.
Get ready, Rasputin.
General's back. Sasha's back. What about Mila? There she is.
Did you forget everything I taught you about levitation, Rasputin?
Where's Dogen, my favourite character?
I'm not supposed to check out
Zoto.
equipment to interns.
You did what?
Can't we just...
Forsyth.
Quit picking on the new kid.
Where's Dogen?
We were all new once, in case you forgot.
I want
Got
Dogen.
eyes on the target. And I've got eyes on me.
All I see is another unruly peasant.
Oh boy.
Thanks for the resub step. Noot noot.
It wouldn't be the first time the Psychonauts underestimated Maligula's power.
Ooh.
Leave it to me.
Where's Dogen? I want Dogen. If they don't bring back Dogen, I will riot.
Well, it's clear I could not be more excited for Psychonauts 2 because I gotta be honest, me and that original game, we got some beef that needs settling. If you know, you know. The meat surface level, it is infamous, it is brutal,
It's not.
it is
I
difficult
did it.
to say
It
the
wasn't
least.
difficult. I
The
did
final
it
level of
like
the
no
original game
problem.
that came out, and I cannot believe I'm doing the math on this one.
I just realised that people
16
got really
years
stuck in it
ago.
and couldn't beat it.
Tim, Schaefer, and Lizette Teatree Montgomery. I am definitely dating myself, but you all welcome from Double Fine Productions. Thank you so much for being here. Tim, can you believe it has been 16 years? I almost said 19 years.
Yeah, it feels like only yesterday, but it kind of was for Raz because the story picks up right where the first game left off. And even though it has been a lot of years, it's a game that matters a lot to us. We really love it here at Double Fine, and we know that a lot of fans, it meant a lot to them. And so we really want to be true to the spirit of the first game, which we were able to do because we brought back a lot of the same voice actors, and we also have a lot of people on the team here that worked on the first game, as well as bringing on a bunch of new people like Lisette.
Thank you. It was really important for us to carry the legacy forward, especially the cool style of Wonk that is very prevalent in the first game.
Style of Wonk. Just put it on a shirt. I'm in there for it. Let's roll it back a bit. Of course, this can be kind of a trippy idea if you're not familiar. Psychonauts, they still jump into people's minds, I'm assuming, like the first game, right? So if a Psychonaut sort of dove into my brain, it would be like a lot of Ted Lasso quotes and French Bulldog memes. Am I correct, Tim?
Yeah, that's what's fun about a Psychonauts game is that all the levels are different, just like every person is different, based on their personality. If you could jump into someone's mind, what would it look like in there? What would be the color of the sky, and like who would the monsters be? And in Psychonauts, you get to do that because Raz has the power of astral projection. And when he goes in, he gets to fight those monsters and help people deal with their nightmares and wrestle with their inner demons. And so there's a ton of variety, and there's a lot of anything goes.
Apparently, the combat is still a bit janky, which was
and coming up with
the only thing about the first
game
game that
was really
had
fun to
aged
do.
badly.
Well, I loved it from the first game, certainly. Lizette, let's talk a little bit about how that kind of concept expresses itself in the game world. I mean, Psychonauts 2 has got it all over the place, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was really important for us to carry forward the unique brain worlds and unique levels from the first game and the unique style as well. So we were really focused on how we could bring forward that style in Wonk and also bring in new levels and enemies.
Now, of course, it wouldn't be Psychonauts without new mental demons, and I'm sure it's happening in Psychonauts 2. What does this mean? Does it mean basically is that we're finally able to slap COVID anxiety in the face?
What?
Well, I don't know if you get to slap anxiety in your face, but you definitely get to slap some panic attacks, and COVID definitely caused a lot of those. In addition to panic attacks, some of our old enemies have also come back. Our sensors are our favorites, and they're definitely here. And in addition to that, we also have our doubts. And some new enemies. There's our lovely sensor. Also, some regrets, some flying regrets. There are a ranged enemy.
Hold your
and
back.
They definitely are challenging. Our doubts are our slow, sticky melee enemy. You're also seeing our enabler here. He is our, it energizes our whole combat troop. So we have a whole cast that you can battle and fight with.
Including the new bad mood.
Including the bad mood.
Which is
it's an electric storm of feelings that you have to fight.
Now, for those who haven't played the original, available now on Xbox Game Pass, by the way, wink. Tim, why is Raz so good at rummaging through brains?
Raz is, he has some very special skills. He has two whole sets of skills, one being the acrobatic skills he learned growing up in the circus. He can balance on tightropes, jump on trampolines, swing on trapezes, and that helps him navigate and get around to all kinds of interesting places. But he also has this other side to his personality, which is that he's a powerful psychic. So he can levitate objects, he can
skills at
use
once instead of just
telekinesis and
three.
pyrokinesis. He has these powers which people might recognize from the first game, as well as 3 new powers for the second game. He has the ability to mentally connect thoughts together, and he can
Looks like there's a lot more puzzles in this one.
Together, to solve puzzles and to navigate in this game. He has the power of time bubble, which is just change and slow down how things are moving by changing people's perception of time. And he also has the power of projection, which allows him to pull an archetype, a personality, out of his unconscious mind and bring it into
your abilities and all that.
the world that he's in, like a companion in battle or in puzzle solving.
But let's talk about the story for a second, because as the original Psychonauts, we saw Raz training to be part of an organization, and now perhaps he's part of a whole organization at this point. And are there other brain agents, other Psychonauts out there that maybe grew up in a completely different circus?
Yeah, we have a lot of new characters in this game.
We do. We have a lot of new characters in this game. As soon as Raz
Bring back
arrives
Dogen.
at the headquarters, he immediately gets introduced to the interns. And the interns quickly tell him and show him how he fits into the organization.
The bottom.
They're right down at the bottom.
So earn his way back to the top again. He's no longer the coolest kid in summer camp. And much to his chagrin, his entire family, his entire embarrassing circus clothes wearing family comes to visit him in front of all his new friends. And so the interns find out that he's the awkward middle child of a circus family. Each one of them has their own quirks and foibles, and some of them are even psychic. And so a lot of their story gets told in this game, including their backstory and how it relates to the foundation of the Psychonauts themselves.
Got to bring back
like
the
that.
tortoise.
And of course, as you might know already, I'm sold. But you, of course, already knew that. When can myself and the rest of the world exact some beefy, meaty revenge?
You can get back to the beef and play Psychonauts 2 on August 25th on Xbox Game Pass and PC.
There it is. Lizette, Tim from Double Fine, thank you so much. And you know what? Extend a huge congratulations to everyone at Double Fine on the launch of Psychonauts 2.
Thank you so much. We're very excited.
Thank you.
And you can catch more of Tim Schafer and ask him those burning questions about the newest game in the fan favorite franchise in our Xbox Play stream tomorrow. But first, we're going from cleaning out mental cobwebs to cleaning up alien planets in this supremely satisfying 4K 60 trailer for the gunk.
Don't gunk all over me. Of SteamWorld.
I don't like this weather. I'm pretty sure the ship's insurance won't cover alien storm damage. You have to be careful out there.
The gunk's eating everything here. This planet is literally a paradise when the gunk's gone.
It's Returnal.
Bex. Oh, please, Bex.
We have talked about so many incredible games today, and it's hard to pick a favorite, but let me
You
just
talked
say,
about
it is
fuck
so
all.
cool that State of Decay 2 is expanding Trumbull
No.
Valley. Come on. And hey, you know what? Great job on that.
Where's
flight.
Halo?
Oh, thank you. I mean,
Come
talking
on.
to Jorg is always a blast.
I don't
and
even
Flight
like
Sim is
Halo,
such a
but you've got to
special
show
game
it.
to me because, I mean, it's literally letting me travel the world. But I was staring daggers of jealousy watching you talk to Tim and Lizette over at Double Fine.
Nothing on
Well, I
Hellblade,
will
no.
say
Hellblade
this,
is
I
still
understand,
so
but
far
you got
away,
to
I
play
reckon.
Psychonauts 2 already, so I don't even want to hear it.
That's true. But it's not the same as talking to the creators. Just trust me when I tell you. Be excited for Psychonauts 2.
I will say this
I
as
am.
well. I am excited to see even more of Psychonauts 2 on our Xbox Plays streams.
Well, you just play it tomorrow.
Yes, don't forget, Xbox Plays will recap all the week's news throughout the week at twitch.tv/Xbox. So make sure to check that out. Before Kate and I let Playground Games take the wheel, let
Forza.
me just say
No.
that it has been our distinct pleasure
No.
to chat
Is
games
Forza
and
what
nerd
you're
out
ending?
with
You're ending it
everyone
with
today.
Forza.
Oh, it's hands down the best part of the job, for sure.
But we're far from done here.
Too true. Now, in June, Playground Games announced that Forza Horizon 5, the highly anticipated follow-up to 2018's breakout hit open-world driving game Forza Horizon
Which you've
4,
already
arrives on November
delisted,
9th
haven't
on
you?
Xbox consoles, Xbox Game Pass for console, PC, and cloud, and of course, Steam.
And if you're watching our Xbox YouTube channel, switch over to our Xbox Twitch channel to see all this new exclusive content.
And that is twitch.tv/Xbox for the full vroom vroom experience.
I used to
And
like
if
Forza,
you're already watching on
but
Twitch
now
or
they've
one of
made
the Forza
what?
channels, stay right where you are.
12 of them.
Without further ado, let's dive in, starting with the new custom Forza Horizon 5 controller, which is available
A
for pre-order
controller?
today, so players can have it in hand by November 9th when the standard edition of the game launches.
Fuck me, they've got nothing. They're hyping up a fucking skin. Oh, it looks awful. They didn't even bother to finish it on the back. Pre-order now. Pre-order the controller.
Charlie here, and I'm at Playground Games with Forza Horizon creative director Mike Brown and Forza Horizon art director Don Arcetta. Hello, everybody.
Hey everyone, hi Charlie.
Hey Charlie,
Hello.
how cool is this?
That is stunning. Look at that. Well, we obviously just saw a really cool video about it, and I'll be the first to say there is an amazing influence of Mexican car culture and music literally splayed right across the front. Isn't that right?
Absolutely, it just feels like it's a part of the Horizon Festival, like it's just dropped out of the game into your lap.
Absolutely.
Absolutely love it.
And there's so much we do want to show the fans, and it's been quite difficult to decide where to start. So can you maybe tell us a bit more about the game, Mike?
Sure.
Drive a
so
car.
Forza Horizon 5 is bringing the Horizon Festival's unique brand of fun and freedom to beautiful and
Drive a
vibrant
car.
Mexico.
Still
Players are
not
gonna
as
set
good as
out
Test
across
Drive
the largest,
Unlimited.
most diverse open world we've ever built in hundreds of the world's most beautiful and exciting cars.
Yeah, and people think that Mexico is just a desert or a beach, but there's so much more to
Who
it.
thinks
isn't there?
that?
That's right. Even though it does have pretty awesome beaches and
Mhm.
a number of amazing deserts, it also has vast canyons, hidden temples, awesome, beautiful historic cities, and even a towering snow-capped volcano, the highest point we've ever had in a Horizon game.
So you've talked about how Forza Horizon 5 showcases powerful, all-new graphical features, but what more can you tell us about that?
So yeah, our Mexican HDR sky captures really illuminate the world to the point where you feel like you're really there. And thanks to the
only
Xbox Series X and S, ray tracing is
0.0005% of
utilized
people
in
will
Forza Vista
be able to use
really
the
make our
proper
cars
HDR.
look more true to real life. You'll encounter the smallest of details as you travel throughout the world, all rendered in striking realism.
Oh, that's such an exciting overview. I cannot wait. And next up is something we know that Forza Horizon
I'll play
fans
it.
have
It's
definitely
on the Game
been waiting
Pass, I'll
for
play
the
it.
most. Mike, what exactly is that?
Yeah, that's right. We are about to
I used
reveal
to
the
only
cover
play
of
racing
Forza
games
Horizon
when I was
5,
younger,
featuring
but
the incredible
stopped playing
Mercedes
them
AMG 1 and the
when I got older.
2021 Ford
I still like
Bronco
to play
Badlands.
one
Should we take a
every
look?
now and
Let's do
then.
it, yeah.
So maybe this could be that one. Like I was massive into Test Drive, Project Gotham Racing, Gran Turismo when I was younger. Colin McRae. Just kind of stopped playing them. I got bored of cars. I'm fucking bored of cars.
Now, those are two very different ways to explore Mexico. So what I want to know is why those two cars were chosen and what players can expect
'Cause
when they
they're
get behind the
fast.
wheel.
Yeah, so those differences are exactly why we chose them. The Mercedes AMG 1 marks the first time a car features Formula One hybrid technology almost one-to-one from track to the street. And with the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands, that's primed for rugged off-roading across Mexico's vast terrain.
And I'm certain people can't wait to see more of what these cars can do in the game, so I don't think we should keep them waiting any longer. Mike, can you tell us about what we're about to see next?
Yes, so
Cars.
in a few moments' time, we'll be kicking off a Forza Horizon 5 Let's Go stream, and everybody should check that out for a big deep dive into loads of new content and features from Forza Horizon 5. But before that, we have 8 minutes of brand new gameplay where we're going to see both the Mercedes AMG 1 and the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands. And in typical Horizon fashion, we are going to see active volcanoes, cars jumping out of cargo planes, and a race under beautiful Mexican skies all the way to the Horizon Festival. Should we check it out?
I think we should.
8 minutes. Not real. Like the last racing game I got into was Wreckfest, but that's more of a destruction derby kind of thing, and I was a big fan of those types of games as well. Drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot. How does that work? How's there snow and hot volcano stuff?
Here we take control of the 2021 Ford
Welcome
Bronco
to the
Badlands
circus of
atop
value!
the towering, snow-capped Gran Caldera volcano.
See you on the other side!
El Bandito. See you later, Jax.
Follow that car! Past me!
I look like I've got a halo from the HUD. It's just a racing game. I mean, I've played so many of them at this point. That's why I'm more into arcadey racing games now. Like Mario Kart, Wreckfest, Crash Team Racing.
yourself. I have to go make another delivery.
Good luck landing with that and it not being completely fucked.
Drop zone approaching. Lovely day for a drive.
Oof, the suspension. Oh, Jesus.
So now we see the 2020 Corvette Stingray tearing up the asphalt towards a dust storm in the Mexican farmland.
What's the ground clearance?
Outtrack the storm. So sigue adelante. Keep going.
Like I played through all of Forza Horizon 1 and 2. But then after that I was like, I don't want to play any of these anymore.
Okay. There's no other way around. We've
Gotta go through it. You got any churches? Well, the churches are always in Forza Horizon.
For the eye of the storm.
Oh, you got to go for a car wash. Filthy.
Okay, on my mark. 5, 4. 4 now, that's fine.
Flamingos.
This could get a little rough.
Thunder in the jungle. We get so many copyright claims from this fucking little bit here.
Not even a scratch. The jungle awaits.
Next up is the Porsche 911 Desert Flyer, crashing through the dense jungle tree.
Another Porsche 911. The music really can make or break a racing game. Yeah, you can listen to your own stuff, I guess, but it's nice to have it in the game. Where are all the people? It's empty.
I'll swing back round and guide you through the bridge.
I mean, I can't really tell how good the graphics are because the stream is really pixelated and blurry and compressing like mad. Whee! There's always a slow motion jump in these opening bits in Forza games.
¡Qué maravilla! You're not gonna believe your eyes when you see this. Keep going.
Tempo. Lara Croft is in there right now, stealing all the artifacts. Here comes the big boy. We paid probably millions of pounds for this. Hey, Blacklist. Look, see, you can't land, you can't drop that out of a plane. That wouldn't work. That would just fuck up completely.
What do you say? First to the festival wins? Vámonos!
And on the final leg, we have the stunning Mercedes AMG 1 at full speed across Mexico's sun-baked rocky coast.
Doesn't even need a parachute. Not when you launch it 5 feet from the ground. I need those guys' shades from the start. Those aviator glasses. We're in the danger zone.
Get ready for the biggest Horizon adventure of your life.
200 miles an hour.
Did you hear that? Well, that is the last inbound cargo flight racing neck and neck with an AMG-1.
$210.
So strap yourselves in, Horizon.
211. 212. 213. 214. 215. 216. That's all. Hit the brakes. Slow down. That's it. No Halo. Not even a peep of Halo. Well then. They had nothing really to show. Nothing new. Really grasping for content with all the interviews. Wow, okay. I thought they would show some Bethesda stuff because it's Xbox. They bought Bethesda. If you're going to spend $7 billion, you better bloody use them. You haven't even used them. Huh. Well then. I mean, Psychonauts 2 looks great, but I'm going to play that tomorrow. That's about it, really. I mean, they didn't show off any new Age of Empires 4 stuff. They got nothing. The Dying Light 2 gameplay wasn't even proper gameplay. There was no HUD. There was no UI. It was just all updates for like existing games, really. I hope to see the Halo Infinite campaign mode gameplay. This guy's disappointed. This guy's disappointed. Everyone's gonna be so disappointed. Everyone's gonna be disappointed. Gonna be disappointed. Oh dear. Well then. I'm shocked. Thought there'd be more. Thought there'd be more. And they didn't even fill up the full 90 minutes. It was 82 minutes, not 90 minutes. So, yeah, they didn't have a lot. Well then, I'm gonna play some more Middle-earth: Shadow of War. And then tomorrow we'll play some Psychonauts. I've got it pre-installed, or I believe I have, on the Games Pass. It's like, we know you want to launch it, but it's not ready yet. Not ready. Technically, it comes out at 1 o'clock in the morning, but I'm not going to stay up to 1 o'clock to play it.